Hello everyone, welcome to Opportune. My name is Eva. In today's video, we have a new project that we are working with Power BI. I will show you how to create this dashboard, and I will show you how to work with a case scenario where you have been given the business requirements and you're supposed to derive functional requirements, come up with the metrics, and lastly, deliver such an informative report that is going to be used by the stakeholders in decision making. I hope you enjoy this lesson. Let's get to it. First of all, let's go through the business requirements and understand what is expected of us. You have been given Q1 data, and although this supermarket has been operating, they need to make some changes. The management is thinking of keeping one branch open and concentrating on a few product lines based on the data that has been provided. In order to eliminate the infrequently used payment methods, they would like to know their clientele's demographic and the preferred method of payment. As the contracted data analysts come up with a report that provides reliable information to be essential for decision making. Using the requirements above, we can come up with some functional requirements. We need to analyze overall performance of the business in Q1, looking at the total orders, the total revenue, the total units sold, cost of goods sold, gross income, and the total profits. We also need to focus on the branch performance in terms of sales month on month and the ratings. We need to investigate the product lines that are performing better than others in terms of price, units sold, and cost of goods sold. Then, to get an overview of the customer's demographics and the preferred mode of payment. And here, among others, are the few metrics that we're going to come up with. We need the total revenue. We need to come up to look at the total orders, total units sold, branch sales month on month, the branch ratings, the customer genders, the customer mode of payment. So let's go ahead and start designing our report that is going to achieve the provided business requirement. We are going to start by importing our CSV file, and we can achieve this by selecting that icon, the get data icon, text /CSV file, and I'll select this one, and you can just open it and view it. Once we have the data here, we can select load, and this will be loaded on our Power BI platform. Now that our table has loaded, we can go ahead and start designing the report. And the first thing we're going to do, we're going to put our wallpaper, and we're going to select this color for the wallpaper. You can just change this to 00. Okay, that is too bright, so let's use this pound sign. Pound sign C8. Okay, that's better. That is going to be our wallpaper. And we'll insert a text box so that you can have the title at the top. And we'll insert a text box so that you can have the title at the top. And we'll insert a text box so that you can have the title at the top. And we'll insert a text box so that you can have the title at the top. And we'll insert a text box so that you can have the title at the top. And we'll insert a text box so that you can have the title at the top. And we'll insert a text box so that you can have the title at the top. And we'll insert a text box so that you can have the title at the top. And we'll insert a text box so that you can have the title at the top. And we'll insert a text box so that you can have the title at the top. And we'll insert a text box so that you can have the title at the top. And we'll insert a text box so that you can have the title at the top. And we'll insert a text box so that you can have the title at the top. And we'll insert a text box so that you can have the title at the top. And we'll insert a text box so that you can have the title at the top. And we'll insert a text box so that you can have the title at the top. And we'll insert a text box so that you can have the title at the top. And we'll insert a text bo is okay. You're going to resize this so that it comes from one end to the other, and we're going to caption this as focus, the focus on focus on branch and product line performance. Let's highlight this, take this font to 24. Then we'll change this font. Let's get back to bold. And then we shall increase the font a little. Okay. Let's have let's change the background color of this text box, and we're going to pick a blue. So let's have the previous blue here. Is that 0? Then you can go ahead and highlight this, put it in the middle. Okay. Once we have the title at the top there, we can proceed by putting the other analysis. So we start with the measuring the KPIs. So let's expand this table. Let's bring one card here. So that we can use it to analyze some of these metrics. So we want to know what is the total gross income. So I'll drag this and drop it here. And this is the sum of the gross income. Let's resize this. Okay, that's okay. Let's give it a title here. We shall turn off the callout label. And as for the values, we will have this. Let's change that font to semi-bold. Okay, and then probably we can reduce the font a little. That's 45. Let's turn on the title here, and we'll have this is the gross income. So we can go ahead and save this, and I want to make this transparent such that we don't need that background color there. Okay, so we don't need the visual border, but probably we can have a shadow. Offset outside. Okay, let's have a look at this. Okay, let's go with the first option. Yeah, then bottom right. I don't know why it seems that it has a shadow. So let's see, it has a visual border that is, let's remove it and okay, I think that's it. This is going to give us an overview of the business performance. So let's just give it a small title here. And we reduce this. Okay. So we want to caption what the stakeholders are looking at. So when they look at this section, they're going to get the overall business performance in a nutshell. Okay. So let's also format this to transparent, and then that color, same as our background. Okay. So this is the overall business performance. Now when you look here, you're going to be looking at the gross income. So let's try to reduce this a little and see whether. Okay, that's okay. So we'll use this card for to capture the other metrics. Let's put it here. And I'm just going to format this. First of all, let's find out what we want here. So we have gross income. The other thing we can look at is the total revenue, and we can get that here. This is the total sales. As you can see, let's look at the table. After the unit price, we have the quantity and the tax. So when you multiply the unit price and the quantity, then you add the tax, you're going to get this, the total sales or total revenue generated from this specific sale. So we can go ahead and visualize that. We'll come to the title and change it to revenue. And then we'll go back to the build visual there option, and we're going to pull this total and put it here. So this is okay. Let's just expand that, and that is going to capture the revenue that we generated from this supermarket. Okay. The other thing we want to caption is the total units sold. To paste this here, let's bring it down a little bit, and we can go ahead and format that. We remove the gross income and add the units sold. This is the quantity. Okay. We'll change this to units sold. Okay, so that's fine. The last thing we're going to look at here is the cost of goods sold, and we are going to analyze separately to its own on its own card. So instead of the gross income, we'll pull the COGs here, and then we can go ahead and change that title to cost of goods sold. Okay, so we have here the overall business performance, where we can have a look at the gross income, the revenue, the units sold, and the cost of goods sold. And we can easily compare these values by just having a look at them. Okay, so we proceed. The next thing we're going to do, we'll have a deeper analysis of the revenue, and you're going to copy this and paste here, and we'll have revenue analysis. We'll have a revenue analysis here. So we are going to look at how revenue has been generated in different months. We're also going to look at how it's been generated from the different branches, and we're also going to analyze it in terms of the product line. So let's start with how revenue has been generated in terms of different months, and I'll bring a table here. Start by working with this table. So the first thing we're going to drag is the date. We want to do a month-on-month comparison of the revenue. So let's remove this, and we'll have the date, and then we'll have the total here. So that's how the revenue has performed over the 3 months. Okay. So we want to do an analysis of the previous month, and we'll introduce a new measure here so that we can perform these comparisons. So we come and call it total revenue here. Which is of total. Okay. It's actually the same as what we have. Let's just drag it here, and you see what we have. It's the same thing. It's just that it's a measure. Now from this measure, we want to create a new measure, and you're going to call it previous month. So previous month is equals to calculate and we will look for the previous month, and this is going to be from this table, and let's pick the date dot oh close date, dot date, close that and just hit enter. And once we have that measure here, we can come and analyze it. Let's drag it and drop it here on this table. And as you can see, we have the previous month indicated in the next month. So this is January, and you see the previous month we had did sales. This is March, and you can see April has auto-populated itself, but we don't need it, so we can just filter it out. See, this is basic filtering, so we want January, we want Feb, and we want March up to there, so the rest can just be hidden. Okay, now what we need is to show the change in this, and we'll get a new measure, create a new measure here, and we will name it revenue change. This is going to be revenue change, which will be equal to this is the division, so just divide. So divide, this is uh, total revenue, divided by, so we'll put a comma there, divided by the previous month. This is minus, sorry. We'll first calculate the difference, previous month, then we'll divide by total, so that you can get the change in percentage. Okay. So this is revenue change. Let's drag and drop it here. So as you can see, there is this change in revenue. We'll have it as a percentage, so we can just click that. And this is how our revenue has changed over time. So assuming that January we had the 100% sales, then we dropped by 19%, then we're up again by 11%. So we have the measures there with us. We can just remove this since we have been able to calculate what we wanted. Okay, so what you do, this is what I want. I want to see the change in revenue, and I'll drag and drop the date here, and I will close for the day, the quarter, and the year, and you'll see how the revenue has been performing for the last 3 months. Okay, so we can go ahead and format this and see how it looks. So what we do first, we want, let's go here. We want these columns to indicate the change in revenue. So let's have the data labels first on. Okay, and we'll format this further so that we have them in bold. The values are in bold so that they are very well visible. We remove these titles for both the x and the y axis. Okay. The next thing that you are going to do, we are going to reduce the spaces between the columns. So okay, this is in the layout, yes. So we reduce this. Let's just have a very small. Okay, that's okay. And then we're going to have a formula for this so that the so that the change in the positive direction can have different color from the change in the negative direction. Okay, so this is going to be a rule, and this is affecting the revenue change, as you can see here. So if the value is greater 0, and then it's going to be a number, and less than the maximum, then we'll have this as a very light green. Okay, then we are going to add a new rule and say if the value is greater or equal to the minimum and less than 0, then this will be a gray. Let's pick any gray here, and then this also a number, and that's okay. Okay, so I think the only thing that we can change here is the title. So we're going to call it change in revenue by month. Okay, so we're going to make it transparent so that we don't have the other colors coming out. This is going to be 100% transparent. Okay, let's reduce. I'm going to reduce going to increase the transparency of the wallpaper. Okay, for this here, let's just remove that. Okay, so we see how the revenue has been performing by just looking at this measure here. It has given us the analysis of the revenue for the 3 months. Okay, the other thing we will also analyze here is the revenue by branch. So let's have a bar chart, and we'll take the total revenue on the x-axis and the different branches on the y-axis. And we can go ahead and format this. What I want to see first are the data labels so that you can see the numbers. And branch A and B fairly, they've been performing the same. And branch C, as the best performing by 5K. So using this, we are able to see the branch that the management can work with or can concentrate on if they're choosing to keep one branch. You see branch C has been performing well. So I can add a statement here and say revenue analysis. Right? A 19% drop. So we can have this statement there that says that revenue analysis by month indicates a 19% drop in February, then 11% growth in March. Our branch C is also leading by 5K in sales compared to A and B. Okay. So let's go ahead and format this. We'll change this bars and have them in gray. And then let's collapse this. Then we are going to get the font in black for the data labels. Is going to stand out. We will also not need the titles of both the X and the Y axis. So let's remove this. But have the values in bold, in black. You can go ahead and collapse that. Then let's go back to the y-axis and have this in black. Okay, that's better. It's very legible. We'll also do the same for the other visual. Okay, let's come back here and let's go ahead and change the we're going to just format the values and have them in black font. So change the font color here to black. Okay, well, that's better. So once that is done, let's proceed here. This is called revenue. That is revenue by branch, and then we'll have it in black too. Then you can change this to semi-bold. Okay, that's okay. Let's have it here too. This is semi-bold. Okay. We'll go ahead and make this completely transparent. Okay. Well, that's okay. This is giving us the information we need for the business requirements that we have. So the next thing we want to have a look at is the next thing we want to have a look at the product line performance, how we have been selling and how they have been behaving in terms of revenue and in terms of cost of goods sold. So let's bring out our clustered column chart. And you can start by copying this. Let me just copy it. You can put a title down here. Let's bring it down here. And this is going to analyze the product line. This is the product line performance. So let's first look at the performance in terms of revenue and see revenue wise how have the products been performing. So we'll bring the product line to the x-axis, and then we'll bring the total to the y-axis. And let's expand this a little. And this is what we are getting. You can see food and beverage top the list, followed by sports, electronic accessories, fashion accessories, home and lifestyle, and lastly, we have health and beauty. So I'd like to incorporate the COGs here so that we can have a comparison of the revenue and the cost of goods sold. And you can see the cost is just slightly lower than the revenue. There isn't that much of a difference. So let's get let's start formatting this. And first we see what the numbers are. Let's expand this and get the more option series. This is the position auto. We get it inside and center. Okay, this will just to expand this by that much. Well, that's okay. And then we can remove the excess information that you may not need for now. Okay, let's go to the values and we're going to do some of the formattings here. We're going to make this black. And then the other thing is that you're going to turn off these titles in the X and the Y axis. There, this will be black and bold. Okay, then we're going to the X axis and we're going to do the same by turning off the titles. Then you go to the value, expand that, is bold, then the font color is going to be black. Okay, then what I'm looking for next is the legend, and I want to turn this off. And let's go to the column. So for the sum of total, I want this green. Okay, then let's go to more colors. This and then for the sum of cost of goods sold, we go with that gray. Okay, so there's a title here I see on the x-axis that is not turned off. Let's go back and turn it off. Okay, so we'll have a different title for this. This is the revenue against cost of goods. So goods sold. Okay, let's continue formatting this, and we're going to get this title in black. This is going to be semi-bold, and then you're going to reduce it to 12. Now we're going to make it bold and black. Okay, and then let's go to the effects and increase this transparency. Okay, so as you can see, the product line performance there. We have compared it with the revenue and the cost of goods sold. Then as you can see, there isn't much of a difference. From this, what you're seeing, this is 3K difference, this is 3K, this is 2K difference, 2K difference, this is 3K difference, and this is 2K difference. Okay, the last thing that you're going to look at is the customer. We're going to add a stacked bar chart, and from this we will be able to analyze this information. So let's look at each visit at the supermarket by invoice ID. Put that at the axis, and we have to make sure that this is the account distinct. Okay, so we want to analyze the gender. We see there are 499 male and 501 female. And then we're going to have a further analysis to the payment of the payment method. So you can see we have cash, credit card, and e-wallet. So let's have data labels here so that you can know what you are working with. Okay, so you can see most ladies are using cash to pay, whereas most men are using e-wallet to pay. And then we have the credit card. Then the e-wallet is the last mode of payment that the female are using, whereas for the male they are using the e-wallets first, then cash, and then the credit card last. So let's go ahead and analyze this. We'll go and turn off the titles here and change this to black font. You're using semi-bold. Let's collapse that. Turn the legend off. It's going to be off to for the values. We're going to have the font color as black. Then this is semi-bold. And then let's go ahead and collapse that. Let's go to the bars. Okay. So I'll have the series and the color. So for the cash, we'll use the green. For the credit card, we'll use the gray. the e-wallet will use so what's okay. And let's see what happens here when we try to make this visual transparent. I hope it doesn't absorb the e-wallet, but let's see. Okay, that's okay. I'm not going to make it completely transparent. So we'll have that, and we are going to collapse this. Let's change the title here. This is what do you call this? The shopping mall. This this the customer agenda payment method. Uh, and 78. And just pay 155. Yes, that unit wallet payments. Okay, I'm going to make that bold and I'm going to change this as enabled and reduce the font to 12. Okay, so that's going to be the end of our analysis. That is going to be the end of our analysis. As you can see, we have seen the overall business performance by looking at these few metrics here. We have also seen how the revenue has been performing and the performance of the revenue also by branch. And as you can see, branch C has the highest revenue. We have had we have done a comparison between the revenue and the cost of goods sold of the different product lines. And lastly, for the customer, we have looked at the agenda and the preferred method of payment. And from this, we have been able to achieve the business requirements. And I hope that this lesson has been helpful to you. Please check out the other lessons that we have uploaded, the full Power BI lessons that we have uploaded before. And I hope they are going to be helpful in your data and business analysis skills. Join me in the next lesson, and until then, stay safe.